Hi guys, can you hear me? So Made Studios is a fashion design and sewing school located in Old City, Philadelphia. We teach all levels of sewing, so we go from introductory to evening wear and everything in between. We not only teach people how to sew, but we teach aspiring designers how to launch clothing companies of their own. We guide them through the seemingly daunting process that is product development step by step. So when I say the words fashion design, what kinds of images come to mind? Maybe something like this. Glamour, prestige, art, individuality, yes, all of this goes into fashion, but how much do we know about what goes on behind the scenes to create such a lucrative industry? Most of us approach fashion as consumers. So this is a behind-the-scenes look. This is the Project Runway version we've all seen. It starts with sketches. Designer will sketch out their work, and then they will flesh it out, hopefully to become a marketable, sellable line. These sketches will then be turned into a garment that will then hopefully walk a runway or go to a trade show where retailers can place orders, or even go to a Kickstarter campaign where they can kickstart their own funding. So let's say, best case scenario, you, the designer, you went to New York, you got hundreds of orders from the trade show, and maybe you kickstarted another 100 pre-orders. Everyone's buzzing about your brand. Where are you gonna go to get these pieces actually made? That's the issue. So this is a factory in China where people are paid cents on the dollar to make sure that your jeans don't cost more than $60 a pop. Moral issues aside, they won't entertain orders over or under 10,000. So our small designer still has nowhere to go. So I decided to start looking right here in Philadelphia to see what options we had. And yes, well, after a lot of digging, I found about 12 factories still functioning here in Philadelphia. I went to these factories, a few of them, not all of them, and asked if they'd be interested in our designers' hundreds of pieces, thinking they'd be thrilled to have the business. They said absolutely not. They had too much work and not enough sewers to finish the work. They had too many jobs and not enough workers. This is not something we're used to hearing in this country right now. So I realized, as a sewing educator, I was uniquely qualified to help solve this problem. So I just needed to find a workforce that was wanting these kinds of jobs. So you can imagine my excitement when Jessica Lee called me from the Refugee Women's Textile Initiative, asked me if I'd be interested in teaching a group of Burmese refugees how to sew.
So the Burmese Women's Initiative started out as a community-based participatory program, meaning that the stakeholders, the Burmese refugees themselves, were the decision makers, they are the stakeholders, they're the ones to think about what the priorities are. So the community decided, we want to learn how to sew. We have all these textile traditions, we weave our own fabric, and we want to potentially have jobs in the future. So I called Rachel on their behalf, and it was just like a match made in heaven, because it was amazing to see all the classes come together. And one of the earliest classes actually had 3 different language interpretations going on at the same time. So we had Burmese, Karen, and Tedim. There was also one woman who also spoke Hakka, so yeah, she was a lone speaker. So Rachel kind of just like stepped up and made it happen, and now it's expanded to other refugee communities in Philadelphia, which is including Bhutanese, Iraqi, and Sudanese, and hopefully it'll just continue to grow.
So immediately upon working with these women, I saw their drive, their dedication, and natural talent. Like Jessica said, culturally, a lot of these women were weavers, so learning how to sew came very easily to them. So what takes a lot of sewers years to master, these women were able to master in a matter of 16 weeks. Literally 16 weeks. So I brought this information to our factory owners, and they were thrilled. The influx of talented hands means that they can now grow their businesses and entertain orders like our small designer, and then create a more sustainable manufacturing situation here in Philadelphia. So we actually had our first hire last week. A young woman is going to be paid $3 more than the minimum wage requirements to have a sewing job. She's going to be paving the way for her family, for her community, and hopefully lots of women will now be able to have these kinds of jobs. So our goal Our goal is to have 100 women placed in fair, safe sewing jobs by November 2015. We want you guys to visit us at RWTIblog.org. That's Refugee Women's Textile Initiative blog.org. And we are looking for donations. We are looking for teachers. We're looking for employers. We want you guys to get involved in what we hope to be the next manufacturers movement here in Philadelphia. Thank you.